the most compassionate, the most merciful. To him belongs dominion in this world, and he is the master of the day of reckoning. We beseech your guidance and assistance, O Allah, in this sitting and in all we do. We pray that whatever will be discussed in this meeting today will be a catalyst towards realizing good governance, towards realizing a visionary Nigerian nation that can guarantee justice, equity, social and economic development. We pray to you, O Allah, to continue to guide our leaders aright, to guide all of us to the right path, the path of those you have shown your favor on, not the path of those you are angry with, neither the paths of those who have gone astray. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. The Honorable Minister of Information, a one-time veteran journalist, a former commissioner, a former deputy governor, and now a minister of the Federal Republic in charge of information, Mr. Labaran Maku, the Honorable Minister of State Works, a former diplomat, Ambassador, His Excellency Alhaji Bashir Yuguda, representative of the National Planning Commission Minister, representative of the National President of Nigeria Union of Journalists, the representative of the National President of Ratau, the National President of Naoj, representative of the National President of NCWS, the Honorable Speaker, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker of the ZAMFARA State House of Assembly, members of the State House of Assembly, my chairman of the All Nigeria People's Party, the ZAMFARA State Chapter, Alhaji Lawal Abubakar Makaman Kauran Namoda, the PDP State Chairman, Alhaji Ibrahim Mallah Agusau, members of the State Executive Council, special advisors, permanent secretaries, directors general, and heads of extra-ministerial departments, Your Royal Highnesses, our respected emirs, other community and religious leaders, stakeholders, members of the civil societies, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. The Honorable Minister, I wish to formally and officially welcome you to ZAMFARA State, where family is our pride. You and your entourage, since your arrival on Tuesday, will bear me witness to the so many successes recorded by the federal and ZAMFARA State government in terms of service delivery. Mine is to welcome you and not to bother you with a long speech, because I want to believe that what you have seen so far speaks for itself. I welcome you to the ZAMFARA State in particular, to ZAMFARA State in general, and to this great event in particular, and wish to pray to that one who is the only one free from all imperfections, to guide, protect, and bless ZAMFARA State and Nigeria. You are welcome to ZAMFARA State, and I wish all of us a very fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum. Your Excellency,
the Governor of ZAMFARA State, the Ministers of Information, Works and Environment, permit me to stand on existing protocol that has already been established and to inform you that the President of NGG could not be here because he has to travel outside the country for an assignment that is crucial to his primary role as the President of WAJA, West African Journalists Association. He sends his greetings and apologies for not being here. Let me begin by joining the Minister of Information to appeal to my colleagues on the issue of approach to reporting or style of reporting about developmental journalism, and to inform you that the reference point that the Minister was making in respect to a report about this governance tour is actually unfortunate. It's not only about reporting politics, it's about reporting falsehood, and this is unprofessional, it's unethical, and it's a gross misconduct. And as I speak to you, the President of NGG has directed the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee of the Union to look into this matter. Let me also say that when we saw the report, we dismissed it completely as ridiculous and sensational. Because I was part of the tour, I know what was going on. Let me say that we have been in ZAMFARA in the last 3 or 4 days, and I was attracted by what I call a revolution in the education sector, particularly the primary education. I'm sure this may not be unconnected with the classification of ZAMFARA and some other states in this zone as the educationally disadvantaged states. And I want to believe that this is a good strategy to address the issue of education from the primary school level. We have seen the infrastructure, we have seen efforts being made to address the unprofessional teachers that are within the system. And we have also been attracted by citing a school where we were told that since the beginning of the act, I thought I was misquoting, somebody was misquoting the chairman of the primary board when he said, since the creation of the act. We were thinking that you meant to say that since the creation of ZAMFARA State. But he confirmed that since the creation of the act, a school has never been established in that place until this time. I think this is worthy of commendation. I am also, on behalf of NGG, attracted by the articulated system of road networks in the state. I understand a number of road projects have been outlined, and they are to cover a long period of time, and all our projects, what we lack before is planning. And what we saw, particularly in Telata Mafra and Gusau, and we were told that all the local governments are likely to benefit from these networks, is worthy of also a commendation. I was also attracted by the farming system in ZAMFARA, even though the motto of ZAMFARA is farming is our pride. I must say that
as far as we have seen so far, because we have been to Bungudu, we have been to Maru, we have been to Maradun, we went to Telata Mafara, we have gone to Bakolori, we have gone to Anka and Bagega. In all these places, what we have seen as far as education is concerned, it seems that the governor of ZAMFARA State, everything of his own is education, education, education. Your Excellencies, I am very happy with what I have seen today in particular, where we went to the cotton industry. I must confess that some of us started in this line of production, that is cotton industry. I started work in Arewa Textiles in Kaduna in the early 70s, and I believe that ZAMFARA State, especially Gusau here, when they were producing cotton, we realized their importance in the production of cotton in Nigeria. I also have seen that The Honorable Minister of Information said one thing when we were at the cotton processing industry. He said that why do we allow outsiders to clothe us? Because we have allowed this cotton industry to collapse. We have allowed our textile industry to collapse. And we believe that with what I have seen today, there is going to be a very good resuscitation of the cotton industry in Nigeria and in ZAMFARA State in particular. Ladies and gentlemen, I equally want to talk about our own industry. We have gone to the FRCN today and we have seen the place. And we thank His Excellency for his promise to provide access road to that FRCN. But I equally want to say that we have not been able to get to the state radio and the state television. And I was told that the state television for now is in comatose. So I want to plead with His Excellency to assist us by reactivating the state television and other brokers industry in this state. I want to thank you all.
The Executive Governor of ZAMFARA State, distinguished Honorable Minister of the Federal Republic, may I beg to stand on the existing protocol already established. My name is Asabe Babanahaya Uwarjink Erantangale. Your Excellency, Sir, the good governance team is in your state to see, to verify, to know, and allow the citizens give their own views on what the federal government, the state governments, and the local governments are doing in the course of governance in Nigeria. And by the special grace of God, we are here in ZAMFARA State for the past days, and we went around the state and the local governments, and we saw a very beautiful road network. Without good road network, Your Excellencies, distinguished Nigerians, we cannot access education the way we want to. Without good road network, we can't get to the health facilities. Without good road network, we can't get to the farms and other agricultural centers where we will be able to buy agricultural inputs and at the end of the day, transport our farm produce to the markets. Your Excellency, we saw again in ZAMFARA State what you have done to the educational sector. We can see that education is the uppermost in your administration, because an educated society is a blessed society. We want to use this opportunity on behalf of all Nigerian women journalists to say, Your Excellency, that you are doing a great job to not only ZAMFARA people, but the entire country. We also want to say what we have seen regarding the participation of girl child education and other centers we saw for Nigerian women, especially those residents in ZAMFARA. That means not only the indigenes of ZAMFARA, but other Nigerians that are also staying in ZAMFARA are benefiting. This is a great venture, and we thank you very much. I want to, on behalf of the women, also encourage the Commissioner for Women Affairs and call on all other commissioners to work hand in hand with her to see that we have a better ZAMFARA State. Because Nigerian women are peacemakers, they are nation builders. That is why you can see on the entourage of the Honorable Minister, we have distinguished Nigerian women who are here to give their own contribution. That is why in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we can see that in the midst of the ministers, we have a great woman and mother, a woman that we cherish, the Minister, Honorable Minister of Environment, not Women Affairs. Today we have Ministers of Environment, Aviation, Finance, because of the transformation agenda of Mr. President. I want to beg and crave our indulgence that as Nigerians it is our duty and responsibility to pray for our leaders, to pray for our royal fathers, to pray for the society, to pray care for our children so that our children and children and the generation to come will have a better place to stay in. Your Excellency, distinguished Nigerians, I have spoken a lot. I don't want to go further, but I pray that God will bless ZAMFARA State and the entire people, and the benefits of democracy will be better achieved in unity and love. I call on Nigerians to please stay in peace and love and forgiveness. Thank you for listening.
In my own opinion, the Good Governance Tour is not just to inspect projects in all the states of Nigeria. It is also to correct erroneous thoughts and perceptions that we might have been fed or that we might be holding about our dear country, Nigeria. From my name, I'm sure it's obvious that I'm a southern girl. But I've been in ZAMFARA in the last 2 days, or 3, going on 4 actually. And I still have my hand, and I still have my legs. It has not been amputated. It is important for us to actually address the issues in perspective. Even just last night where I'm staying, there was a disco party, and the members of the opposite sex were having a good time without anybody chasing them away. It is important that we portray our nation adequately, because many people may not have the chance to come down to ZAMFARA first before making their impression about the nation. And if we want to take the economy of the country forward, it is important that we move away from sensational news and onto truly investigative journalism and ensuring that we are portraying our country in good light. Having said that, my observation in ZAMFARA so far, I say so far because the executive governor has been in office going on 2 years, and his administration is putting all that they can into place to ensure that it meets with the transformational agenda of the nation. Don't be surprised that I'm also going to reiterate on education. I think for me, it's a win-win model when the state has been able to put Islamic education aside Western education to have a balance, because both is important to our culture and to the growth of the nation. Most importantly, when we went to primary schools, I was so pleased to find that some of the schools we were told have been in existence as far back as 1922. That is really amazing. And they're being given facelifts now and also being encouraged and made conducive for the girl-child education. You need to be aware that with girl-child retention in schools, there has been a big problem. And something as minute as toilets could actually keep a girl child away from school. I was so pleased to see in the model primary schools that we went to that ZAMFARA State and the Board of Education were sensitive enough to actually provide gender-based toilets for the girls. I think that's something to be acknowledged. Another thing for me was the effort, deliberate effort being made by the state to actually recruit teachers. If you were with the team this morning, you would have seen the institute, the Teacher Training Institute in the state. I think that's a very laudable exercise that the state has invested in. Going out of their way to recruit at least 100 females a year to go into teacher training to ensure that they become role models for other girls in the state is a very big achievement for the girl-child education. Going out of their way to ensure that the socially disadvantaged people, which by the way we should refer to as special needs people, not disabled people, when you give a disabled person an opportunity, they actually can contribute to national growth. So for me, going out of their way to provide the same level of education for the disabled people in the state, taking teachers out of the state to train them on how to teach the disabled amongst them is another notable thing to embrace. Lastly, I want to emphasize on the fact that the state is an agrarian state. There's no need for me to repeat all of the opportunities here, like the baccalaureate rice irrigation scheme. But what I know is that deforestation and landscaping is one area that I think the state needs to look critically into. So also is the avenue of ensuring quality assurance on the projects that are being produced and being constructed now. We need to be thinking of sustainability and the future. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I hope to be back in Zamfara. Assalamu alaikum.
My colleagues, Honorable Minister of Information, and one of us, or one of you, Honorable Minister of Works. I want to say that I have been privileged to be a part of the team because I am here as a result of the issue of the lead poisoning in Bagega. I seize the opportunity to congratulate the governor for a job well done. I make observations particularly in respect of education on behalf of my sister, Professor Kaya. Knowing that Zamfara State is one of the least developed in terms of education, it is encouraging to see that the governor is moving very fast. And more so as a trained teacher, I still believe that the basis of education should be properly taken care of in order to have long-lasting and reliable outcomes. Such, of course, means that primary education should be given a lot of premium. I have traversed the state, at least those areas that have been visited, and I have seen the development in that sector. I want to advise the government that before institutions are put in place, priority should be placed to the provision of water and toilets, because these are environmental issues. We must, on every site, first of all, try to sink a borehole, then also try to make sure that we provide enough toilet facilities. I also want to advise that the schools must have perimeter fencing. I would suggest that the perimeter fencing is done with trees, which Your Excellency has willingly accepted. I have seen a few, and he has also accepted the need for the Commissioner of Agric to work closely with the Commissioner of Environment and ensure that, like the man from the civil society mentioned, we do not have encroachment in the near future. I, on behalf of the Ministry of Environment, congratulate the state. I, more than ever before, appreciate my colleague, Honorable Minister Labaram Maku, for giving all of us here an opportunity to go down to the grassroots and to see the developments therein. I am not unaware that I will be answering a few questions on environment. So at this juncture, may I excuse and say thank you for listening.
Rahman Rahim, Your Excellency, the Governor of Zamfara State, my dear friend and dear colleague, the Minister for Information, our dear sister, the Minister for Environment, the officials of Zamfara State government here with us, our royal fathers, the good people of Zamfara State, Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, let me start by thanking the Honorable Minister for Information for organizing this Good Governance Tour, which is part and parcel of the transformation agenda of Mr. President in order for the governed to come and explain to the people what we are doing as a government. The essence of democracy is for us to come and give report cards. It's for us to tell the people why we are elected, while we are appointed, and while we are serving the people. It is a good platform also for interaction, for questions, for us to be here, and for us to respond to such questions for what we are doing as a government. We also thank the governor of Zamfara State for welcoming the team, for welcoming the group. I have two caps I'm wearing on this trip. One, I am part of the team that is here. Secondly, I'm also a citizen of Zamfara, so this is homecoming for me, alhamdulillah. Your Excellency, for us in Federal Ministry of Works, we try as much as possible to justify the mandate given to us as a ministry. Ours is to make sure that the road networks in the country are improved, are maintained, and continuously also monitoring on the roads. We can talk specifically about the projects of Federal Ministry of Works in Zamfara. The total amount of money that the federal government is spending on the road network in Zamfara is about 30 billion naira. This is divided into about 6 projects that we are doing. What we try to do, or what I make sure that we should do, is if you're coming from the north, from the south, from the east, and you're coming into the capital city of Zamfara, you are connected to a beautiful road networks. If you're coming from Zaria Puntua access, we have a project there. From Zaria to Puntua to Gusau, we have a contract there totaling about 7 billion naira. The completion is about 80%, and everybody can testify to the fact that it was not like this 2 years ago, before this administration of President Goodluck Jonathan came into being, and before I was appointed a minister, and I'm very proud of that. If you come in from Sokoto to Gusau, that is another section of the contract, which is starting from 0 kilometer in Gusau to pass through Mafara, to pass through Sokoto. That's another section of the contract, and I'm very proud to say also it is an ongoing project, and it is about 95% completed. And there are few areas that remain, but very soon the contract will be 100% completed. Now, if we come in from Katsina through Jibia, what we have done there is the road is divided into 2 or 3 sections. The first section from Jibia coming through Shinkafi with the spur to Sabon Birdi. That one is being handled by federal government of Nigeria, and it is 100% completed. We are in collaboration with Zamfara State government. The remaining section from Shinkafi coming through Kauran Namoda, Zamfara State government is handling with the collaboration of Federal Ministry of Works. The only portion that remains is from Kasuwa Daji to Gusau. That is another portion which is a federal road, because it is the same alignment coming. And on that stretch also, we are working together with Zamfara State government in order to complete the remaining section from Kasuwa Daji to Gusau. Now all this is done in order for us to have good road networks in the state to facilitate trade, to facilitate movement of goods and services, and of course to deliver on Mr. President's agenda on transforming the Nigerian roads. That I can talk about what is happening in Zamfara as it concerns the Ministry of Works. But apart from that, on Thursday, the good people of Zamfara State visited Mr. President. When we visited Mr. President, I was with the governor, with our elected officials of our elected officials are the senators and some members of the House of Representatives. The Right Honorable Speaker of ZAMFARA House was also with us, and our royal fathers were represented by His Royal Highness the Emir of Ankara. The good news, Mr. President, first of all, sent his greetings to the good people of ZAMFARA State through His Excellency the Governor and of course myself. And the President made it very clear, 2 points he made very clear about ZAMFARA. One, ZAMFARA State is among the most peaceful states in the country, and this Mr. President has acknowledged, and this is what Mr. President is talking about, that the security and peace of any nation does not reside in federal government alone. It does not reside in the state government alone. It's a collective responsibility for us to live peacefully. The second point raised by Mr. President as it affects ZAMFARA is the harmonious relationship that exists between all the people in ZAMFARA. Irrespective of party affiliation, this is our state, this is our home, we are the same people, and there is no reason why we should not work together. Mr. President noted that, and we are very, very proud of that. In the light of that, Mr. President has shown a lot of concern for the good people of ZAMFARA State. Recently, we are all very elated and happy for the brand new university that Mr. President has approved for us. With the collaboration of federal government and the state government, inshallah, the university will take off very, very soon. The devastation that we have witnessed, which I believe the Minister of Environment has spoken about, Mr. President was very concerned, and he also sent a donation of 800 million naira in order to help the people that are affected, which is our own people, which is our own community. And Mr. President consider each and every Nigerian as his own. Nigeria is his constituency, and we are glad Mr. President is living up to that. In ZAMFARA, we also have the new CBN building coming up. We also have the new Federal Secretariat. During the sad event of the flood disaster, Mr. President sent me to ZAMFARA with a donation of over 200 million naira to give to ZAMFARA people, and over 700 tons of assorted grains. Now all this goes to show the kind of commitment, the kind of concern Mr. President has for us as a state. And I believe we are living up to that because we are living peacefully, we are staying together as one, and inshallah ZAMFARA will continue to be great. As-salam.